Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is CraftyRia. If you're new here, I wish you a warm welcome and I hope you like what you see. If you're returning, welcome back, and guess what we're going to do? We are going to recycle a couple of Christmas cards. Today we're going to be better than Hallmark because these are both Hallmark. Not that there's anything wrong with Hallmark, but we're just going to do it up a little bit better. So I had these two Christmas cards in my stash. They have already been sent to someone and signed on the inside, but I'm going to make them into brand new cards to send out this year. And if you know me, you know I love dogs, so this is the perfect craft for today. I'm going to go ahead and use these cards and make them onto my standard size cards, which are 5.5 by 4.25. It is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, cardstock cut in half and folded in half. But these cards are bigger, and I'm going to show you how I size them down to fit on these cards. I have my handy dandy template. It's just a clear piece of acetate left over from some stickers, and I traced the folded cardstock on there, and then I even put a couple lines, 1/8 of an inch in on either side and 1/4 of an inch in to for matting, just so we can get an idea. So in order to mat these cards on red and then onto the white, I'm going to use the smallest dimension in there. So I'm going to line them up on my card and decide what part of the image I want to keep and what part I can cut away. I really like that this says Merry Christmas, and I really like this plaid on the bottom. So I'm going to do this card in a landscape view, and I'm going to line up the most inside line with the very bottom of the card because I want to keep that in there. And if you notice at the very top of the card, that inside line, there's plenty of room up and down for my image. It would be cutting away some of that at the top, which we don't really need. Now there's 5 dogs, and I'm going to have to cut it down to 4 dogs. So I'm going to take the innermost line and line it up on the edge of this one dog here, and it just so happens that the innermost line kind of lines up right at the edge of that dog. So we're going to have that as our image, and I think that's going to work out really, really well. So I'm going to set this one aside. I'm going to do the same for this. We're probably not going to use the 'Tis the Season because it'll cut off his paws, and I think his paws are very cute. So I'm going to take that very top, the top line, the shortest most one, the inside one, and do it right at the edge of his hat, cutting off the 'Tis the Season, and it also leaves his paw in the picture, and then there's enough room left to write for the card. So I think that's going to work pretty well. So both of these will convert easily to this size. Then I have this piece of red paper I picked out of my stash. I bought this at a garage sale a couple of months ago with my BFF Valerie. I really needed red cardstock, and this is Basil Basics, Basil, I don't know how to pronounce that, Basil or Basil Basics cardstock. It's textured, it's really pretty. I thought the texture on the cardstock went well, especially with their hats. I don't know if you can see really good on the image, but they look to be like crochet or knitted hats. And I thought the color matched up the best for both of these cards, just to use that one piece of cardstock. Now I could use this and make 2 card bases with this, but then it would use the whole sheet. I can use half the sheet and get both of these cards and then still have room enough for 2 more cards. So white cardstock is a little easier to come by. And then I went through my stash and I decided I would do some embellishing on the cards. So I got my box of bling, and I think I'm going to use these red rhinestones that I got from the Dollar Tree. I think they look really well along that line on the bottom. So I'll keep those out. And then I also got these other leftover stickers from the Dollar Tree. I decided I would keep them aside and see what I can do to embellish with those. So let's get to cutting things first. Set some of this aside. I'm going to first start by cutting the cards to the size that I want. Now we know we're going to have to cut the back off the card. Excuse me. So I will start. I'm going to go ahead and just cut out the sentiment since I'm going to use it anyway. And it comes with this little flower or snowflake down at the bottom, and I will try to keep that in. I'll cut off the wording. And then I'll cut it down to size. Okay, so I've got one sentiment ready for the inside of that card. And I'll go ahead and cut the sentiment out of this card while we're at it. It's nice that everybody signed these cards far enough away from the words so the words can be reused. Some people write so close to the words that I can't reuse the words. So there. And I think I'm going to cut a sliver off of that left side just to make it more even. This isn't my normal paper trimmer. It is my video paper trimmer. My other paper trimmer is huge. And it's kind of bulky on my desk when I'm doing videos, so. All right, so we're going to start with this, and I know I need to cut off some of this top piece, but to preserve that so I can use it for something else, I'm going to start by cutting off that red line, because I can use that border for something else, but I don't need that red border. And then I need to measure this. So in order to mat it onto my 4.25 size card, I need to make it at, did I decide 4? Let me measure this inside piece. I just want to make sure. No, I'm going to measure it at 3 3/4, I believe it should be. Yeah, I'll do it at 3 3/4 because I'm cutting a 1/2 inch and I'm leaving, yes, that's right, because I forgot to figure in both sides. So I'll do 3 3/4 for the height of this card. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. I might be able to use that border in something else. And then in this way I'm going to do it 5 1/4. No, at 5 even, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, 5 even. I'm going to take a sliver off of this end. There's a couple little dents in the side of the card, and also to make the dogs, to give a little more room for the dog on this side, I'm going to just take a sliver off that edge. Okay, and then see where I'm at with 5 inches and what I'm going to cut off. My guide is not perfect, so if I line it up at the 5 inch mark, there, and I put this down, I'll be able to see what I'm going to cut, and I think that's going to be just right there. So then that's what I'm left with for the card, and then I'm left with that left over, and that would make a really cute gift tag. So I'm going to get my card here, and that leaves quite a bit of a border, and it leaves plenty of room for a red border. And for both of these red borders, I'm going to do them the same size. I'm going to make them 5 1/4 inches tall by 4 1/8 inches wide, I believe. Or by 4, actually. So 5 1/4. I'm going to cut that at 5 1/4 and put this bigger piece aside. And I'm going to cut them at 4 inches exactly. Okay. And then that leaves enough of this cardstock left over to mat 2 more cards. So that'll work out really good. I'm hoping I did the math right. There, that does look good. And then that will go on that like that. Perfect. Very happy with that. And let me go ahead and cut out this card while I have math going on in my head. I'm going to start by the dimension that I know, and the piece that I'm aware of that I have to cut. I will need to cut that "'Tis the Season" right off of there. First I'm going to cut this flap off so I don't have it hanging around. And I'm actually going to cut the word "'Tis the Season" out because I can use that on the front of a card. And then I've got this pretty border that I could use somewhere as well. Okay, so then I have that. It's upside down, that, to use for something. And then this, I know I'm going to need it at 5 inches. So I'm going to take it to 5 inches there, and I'm going to just cut the bottom off. And that leaves me with a little bit of a border. Now this, cutting it at exactly 5 inches, left a little tiny bit of that trim on there, so I'm going to cut that sliver off. Otherwise, it looks a little funny there. And I know I'm going to need to adjust it from left to right to make it 4 inches exactly. So I think I have plenty of room on this side, so I'm going to cut it as close to his front paw as I can as my first cut. And then I will measure 4 inches. And actually I'm going to move it in a little bit to cut that border off, because 4 inches, yeah, right. I don't want 4 inches anyway. I want 3 3/4, but I'm going to move it in a little bit to take care of that border, because if any of that border stays, it will look funny. So then we have that. matted like that, and I think that works out just fine. Actually, it makes him stand out a little bit more. He looks like he was at a portrait studio and looks very, very handsome. So we'll go ahead and start with him, since he's going to be a more simple card. I think he looks pretty handsome. I will just put some adhesive on the back of this paper, which is the non-textured side. And when I line my paper up, I hold it right above the piece below it, and I line up this top corner and this bottom corner and kind of just eyeball it, and that's how I get a pretty good matting. And I'll do the same with this little guy. This is my tape runner. I got it from the Tape Depot many, many years ago. The adhesive for it is very inexpensive compared to using the little disposable tape runners that you get at like any of the craft stores. The initial investment's a little bit more, but it works out to be better over the long haul if you're going to be using it a lot. There, so I have that, and he is so handsome. I love this guy. I'm not sure. I think if I put 'Tis the Season anywhere, it's going to cover him up too much, so I think I'm going to leave it alone. Let me see what I have for my stickers. I could put those on, but I think I'm just going to leave him plain. I like him the way he is. I don't know if the camera's catching it, but his hat already has some glitter on it. There it is, you can see it there. It's really, really pretty, and he's just a handsome guy, and I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I'll put that aside. Then I'm going to do this card. I do want to do a little extra on this card, which I thought would be really cute. I really like this that says Merry Christmas, but I want to pop it up off the card. So what I will do is put it down on my cutting mat, and I have my ruler and I have my knife. This ruler is a Tim Holtz ruler, and it has a metal edge. I didn't know this for the longest time, and I used this other edge for cutting, and I ruined it a little bit. So I think I need to get a new ruler. But meanwhile, it has this edge. I'm going to cut it right along the outside of the silver glitter, because I want the glitter to be on my card. And when I'm holding this down, I'm holding the card and the ruler with my hand. I think I'll do both edges first, the long way. Then I'll do this other one right on the edge of that silver glitter. And then I will do the short ways. And I usually run it a couple of times to, rather than push just once really hard, I do a couple of lighter passes with the knife. I think it's cut out for the most part. I need to fix an edge there. There, And this edge up here I didn't quite get. I can kind of see the groove and just run my knife right in the groove I already made. There. Okay. I'm going to get my scissors and just trim up my mess over here a little bit. Trim some of that white off. Okay. Then I have that edge, and I'm going to pop this up, and it's okay if a little bit of the red underneath shows. It'll just look more like a border. I'm going to kind of clean up my cuts here a little bit. I got a little sloppy. It's okay. A little red will show through. It will not be the end of the world. Okay. I don't know if you can hear my bird. He's whistling to us. His name is Crichton, and he's an African gray, and he's a crazy, crazy bird. His cage is right outside my craft room door. I do have my door shut when I'm recording. Alright. So again, I will line this up on the inside. I'm just trying to get rid of some extra adhesive. There. Alright, I'll line this up at the top and the bottom, and then put it down. And then I will mat it to the front of this. And before I stick this on, I think it would be easier to put my bling on first. So I have this bling here, and I thought it would be good just to put it right over this red line to give it a neat little border. Okay, and then I will put some bling on this other side. I'm going to squish the bling a little closer together. I have both edges of the bling hanging off the card onto the mat a little bit, but it's that way on both sides, so it looks okay. And then I will put this on. There we go. I have somewhere on my desk some of this. This is three-dimensional tape, foam tape that I get at the Dollar Tree. It's in this big roll. I like it because it is not very thick as far as it doesn't add a lot of bulk to the card, but yet it will raise this up enough to make it look really cute. I'm going to cut the piece in half so it fits on this, and then just take the backing off. Usually when I find that at the Dollar Tree, I stock up on it because they don't always have it. Okay, there we go. And then that just raises Merry Christmas up a little bit off the card. Very cool. Then I just need to put these in and to make a tag out of that, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back with the supplies to finish up my card. I went ahead and grabbed a piece of scrap paper so I could mat these on for the insides. I grabbed some ribbon for the tag and my tag puncher. So first let me finish up the cards before I make the tag, and I will put these on the inside. I will get rid of that because I'm done with that for right now. What I will do is adhere these to this. This is a recycled envelope, and it was red, so I decided I would save it because it's perfect for this type of thing. Put that on there, and then this piece on the other one, or the other side. Okay, I will give this a cut. That piece is probably too little to save, so I threw it away. There, got that. Okay. I want to make sure that was blank on the inside. Okay, that is blank on the other side. So this is the same font, I believe. I believe this came out of that card. So I will go ahead and put this one on the inside. There, we have that one done. And then this one. Okay, now I will work on this little tag. It will be real easy. I'm going to use the large angle of my punch. I open it up until it snaps open, and I put it in here like this, and it's going to crop that corner. And I'm going to turn it around, put it in, and it'll crop that corner. You can just use scissors and crop the corners, or however you wish to do it. I just happen to have that, and I love using it. I'm going to use just a regular hole punch that you get from the office supply store, and punch a hole. Just eyeball it right in the middle. And then I have a bag of ribbons, and let's see, I think this red ribbon here. Oh boy, look, that's going to be just the right size too. Okay, good. This is just my scrap Christmas ribbons. I'm just going to put it through the hole, bring it around, tie it off, just like that. And I'm going to trim. I'll leave this pretty long because I might want to tie it on a package. Now, you can use a hair straightener or anything to get the kinks out of the ribbon if you want. And then on the back, I will do my little to from stamp. I have my VersaFine ink pad and this little stamp that I've had for many years. It's from Anita's. I think I got it at Big Lots or something like that. And it just says to from. I have bigger to from stamps, but it wouldn't work on here. I'm going to hold it so it's kind of flat. There. Now the colon didn't come out on that from, so I could take a permanent marker and make a dot. I have a black Sharpie. There. Made my own. All right. I'm going to set that aside to dry. So we have a cute gift tag that could be given with this card or used, you know, on the same package. If I give the card and the package to someone, it is kind of bland right there. So I could take something like that, or I could take some of that red bling and really have it match the card. Where did I put my red bling? I didn't put it back in my box. Oh, it's over here. And instead of putting it right on that red line, I'm going to put it right above that red line. That way, there's a couple little hairs on here. That way, it takes up some of that white space. I'm going to squish them a little closer together so they fit. Right on there. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh. Look what I did. I messed up the back. That's okay. That can be fixed easily. I should have waited for my ink to dry. That is okay. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to find a scrap piece of red cardstock. So I'm going to take this off, this ribbon off, and I'm going to mat this right down on here. It's just going to make this a little more fancy. And this will cover up those words perfectly. Okay. And then I will trim it down with my paper trimmer. Which of course it doesn't trim very well. So I'm just going to use my scissors because that bling keeps it up a little bit too much. The blade, I won't let the blade go down far enough. Okay, so there we go. I'm actually going to trim this side a little bit. And I will go ahead and just use the scissors on here to do that, just to eyeball it. to show you that it really is okay just to cut with your scissors. You don't always have to use a paper trimmer. There. All right, so we have that. I will take this punch and punch out the hole again. Put this on the back. All right, there we go. Second time around, I will stamp the back. I just have to be careful to stamp it up higher because it's not flat. There, and that stamp came out better that time anyway. So now we have a really cute tag to match the card. So I didn't waste any of that card at all. I even made a mistake and I covered up my mistake and showed you how to do that in case the same thing happens to you. And then I have that other card. Well, there you go. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. Once I get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So please share with your friends, and if anybody you think would like to recycle some Christmas cards, have them come along. You guys take care and get crafting. Bye-bye.